In 2017 alone, 2,151 men committed suicide, almost triple the number of female suicides. Men from a young age are hesitant to speak up on their mental health, often scared of the consequences to their masculinity.
We are taught from very young age that boys don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Suck it up, harden up, drink concrete, you know. So we're conditioned, or we're almost programmed from a very early age that we don't talk about our problems, we internalise it.
According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, men are far less likely to access mental health services than women, instead attempting to work things out themselves.
I like to think of myself as someone who can sort of take a few punches and still keep going, but when it hit that point where I just couldn't go on, like, I needed to talk to someone about it.
Young men in particular feel as if they need to deal with mental illness alone.
I don't think there's any other way to deal with mental illness without sort of talking to someone about it. Like, it does wonders just to know that you're not alone.
Masculinity in itself is not toxic. However, the idea that being a man involves shutting off feelings and emotions is.
There is a big sort of alpha male sort of thing built into every male, and we all want to strive to, you know, be seen as, you know, really built and confident, and, you know, having emotions and stuff like that kind of diminishes that.
To me, toxic masculinity is this idea that as men we need to be a certain way. That the messages that we get through our society, through our culture, through the media, through video games, through movies, suggests that to be a man you need to be, you know, muscular, you need to be strong, you need to be tough, you need to be hard. That's the part that that message about masculinity that I see is toxic. I certainly don't see masculinity itself as a toxic issue.
Social media has become an avenue for unrealistic expectations that can potentially damage the self-esteem of young men.
Like, I know if I'm going through a really crappy time and I'm feeling really low about myself, then, you know, some ripped dude down the hallway uploads like a cool photo with him next to a cool car and all his friends have got like plus 100 likes on it. I'll automatically compare that to my own life and be like, oh well, he's doing so much better than me.
You know, whether it's photoshopped or the lifestyles that are being portrayed on social media are ideals that people aren't actually living. So they need to understand the difference between reality and what is really a fantasy land that social media is all about.
Social media can be, it's never ending. It's always just, you know, in our pocket or, you know, on the laptop, whatever it is. It's a constant thing that you can just pull out and check. That's there's no going home from it.
Men at any age need to understand the importance of speaking up and getting help if need be.
Even if you have to be the trailblazer who is the first person in your friend group to be open about it, you'll find that everyone's sort of been through a similar experience or knows someone who's been through a similar experience, and that's where a lot of that beneficial support comes from.
Changing the attitudes of young men toward mental health is one step in combating the stigma surrounding it.
There is a definite lack of education around mental health, and that's what sort of tends to happen, is this spiral of feelings and emotions and thoughts that just sort of suck it in and, you know, make it worse and worse until you know, something gives.
Being able to talk to somebody who maybe has been there before, can give you some advice on how to deal with that, should be the norm rather than the exception.